Chris Humphreys,
Lynn Kira, Mason Medeiros,
Felipe Koenig,
and this is the APTA Tour.
see you at Short Hills.
Hello and welcome to the APTA Tour. We are live from the Short Hills Club, bringing you the Short Hills Grand Prix, the 2022-23 APTA Tour event, which is the 10th stop on the APTA Tour, presented by Remedy Plus and sponsored by the APTA membership, the APTA national sponsors Paddle Pro and Fusion, and local sponsors, our lead sponsor, Core Private Wealth, Beatty, Maple Crest Ford Lincoln, Xenon, Club Pilates, Smith Chiropractic, Paper Ribbon Wrap, Spiro Harrison and Nelson, Wet Ticket Brewing, the New Jersey Men's Platform Tennis Association, and the New Jersey Flex League. I'm Brad Easterbrook alongside Anthony Casamano, bringing you women's quarterfinal round action between our number 4 seeds of Hero and Mason Medeiros and Cooper and Petrini. So, Anthony, welcome to the booth. Do a quick introduction of the players.
Sounds good. Hi, Brad. Good to be here live at Short Hills. Let's take a quick look at the draw and see how the players made it to the quarterfinals. This is the bottom half of the draw. Kira and Medeiros made it past Fair and Margulies fairly easily, 6-1, 6-love in their first round, and played Brown Cobbs Hall in the second round and won 4-4. On the other side of the draw, Cooper and Petrini played Shemaya and Lieb, 6-1, 6-love, and had a tougher match against Gayo and Tunura, 6-4, 6-4 as well. And sorry, I misstated the score on the Kira Medeiros. It was 6-1, 6-love in their second round. But here we are in the quarterfinals. What do we think, Bradley? What are we going to see here?
You know, it's a great matchup. First, we'll take a quick look at the players on the court. So the top left of our screen, we've got Vanessa Petrini and her partner to the right with a blue top and a visor, Annika Cooper. And on the bottom of your screen, the bottom right of your screen, you have Lynn Kiro, and her partner to the left with the blue pants is Mason Medeiros. And we're looking forward to a fun match. I mean, these teams have played once before, and we have a matchup here, Anthony, where it's basically 2 separate partnerships that have split up and now playing with the other. So Cooper used to play with Medeiros, and Petrini played with Kiro, and they had a great match in Long Island. So what happened in that one?
Right, so there's probably not going to be a lot of surprises as far as style and understanding what's on the other side of the net. They had a close match in Long Island fairly recently.
Yeah, it was this year.
This year. And I believe Kiro and Medeiros ended up on top, but I expect to see the same thing. I think it's going to be very close. I don't know if it's quite a pick-em. I think the Kiro Medeiros have a slight edge, but I expect it's going to be a very competitive match.
Well, there's a ton of offense on the court. It's different styles. 3 of the players love to blitz. Medeiros and Kiro use the blitz a lot. Petrini does not blitz as much, but she's got plenty of offense from the backcourt and drives it, and Cooper loves to blitz. She does it behind a variety of balls. She uses her length, takes the ball early, dips it low, comes in quickly, uses off-pace, certain balls. But it's not going to be super easy to blitz against Kiro Medeiros. That's going to be, interesting to see how that plays out, the blitz game, because I expect to see a lot of, hard action out here. The biggest things, Kiro's a great talent. She's already nearing the top of the game, but she's still relatively inexperienced player. Same with Petrini. They played together last year, and this year they kind of split up a little bit. It's great to see how, when the match gets tight in certain spots, how these teams are going to react.
And yes, and you're also going to see in those less experienced, and yes, we're talking in relative terms here, they're both phenomenal players, but when you see the newer players, they will tend to break down a little bit more on the screens as the points get tougher and tighter, and that's probably what we'll see a little bit strategy today, working with less experienced women on the court with screenplay and harder and off-paced screen play.
And with both these teams, the interesting thing that we're gonna look for as the match goes on is, you having competed semifinals, finals and nationals one time? No, just semifinals a couple times.
3 times.
Yeah, 3-time semifinalists here in the men's national game. No experience to the top level of the competition. you know, it's always hard, you know, to find that place on the court where you want to hit the ball where the safe place is. It's not that easy. There are weapons on all sides of the court. Petrini hits a forehand and a backhand. Cooper's got a great backhand. It's actually better to forehand, but if you go to a forehand, she hits kind of like the dipper and rolls it and comes in behind it. And same with Kiro and Medeiros. You know, there's going to be a heavy emphasis on return game, stopping the blitz. I think the safer spaces actually are to go harder into the screens, you know, on Petrini and possibly even on Kiro.
Yes.
You know, that's going to be really interesting. I think if you try to dump the ball down the middle, unless you're putting that ball within a foot of the baseline, you know, consistently, you're going to start eating a few of those and finding some blitzes behind it. So it'll be curious to see how it all shapes up.
And that will weigh heavily on the newer players or the less experienced players as well. When you feel like you have to put a ball in a 2 square foot box to get away with it, you start second guessing your choices, and you'll end up making more mistakes that way or floating balls deep. So I think you're right. I think hitting the ball harder against the screens will give them more time to adjust and close on the net and be a little bit more comfortable.
Now, I think that we have our umpire in the chair, and it's Mark Bliss. He's a seasoned umpire. He's doing it for a long, long time, and he's a great umpire. And I believe he's given some instructions to the players out there. I'm not sure who he said is receiving here. Let's see if we can get his mic turned up. But they're going to play. They're taking serves now. They'll be out there pretty soon. We'll see the serving strategies early on. You know, for all the players, there's different service types. You know, Kiro hits a hard, aggressive return service. You know, it's sort of challenging the players. Medeiros hits like a low push and just runs really quickly to the net and expects a drive, but expects it to be sort of flat in a place where she can volley it. Petrini will go overhand, you know, and there have been moments, you know, in Annika Cooper's time where she's struggled with her serve from time to time and looks to just put it in the box and stay in. I think the service game will be an early tell, you know, how these players are able to get in, or they're going to have to start playing from the backcourt. I think there'll be a fair amount of blitzing, and I think we'll see it early. Yeah,
there'll be pressure. They all volley very, very well, comfortably. So, yeah, the first couple of games, as they start realizing the right strategy for them early, we'll see if they decide to stay back.
Now, Anthony, haven't played the game, you know, for as long as you have at the highest levels. You know, do you know, when, I mean, you and I are contemporaries. We have many battles over the years, you know, but nobody was hitting underhand serves prior to, you know, when we were starting to play, right? Did you find that to be more bothersome when you started to face a little bit, or is it about the same?
You know, and I will say Scott Estes Jr. served underhand, but it was only out of, he had a little mental hiccup here and there, and so he
was less of a strategy consideration and more of a place to just put the ball in the court.
Right. So yes, as the games evolved, I don't know. I was never, you know, I thought it was a fad for a little while, honestly, early on, but there's definitely a strategy to it. And as players get better, like the Morgans, and that they're able to keep that ball low, and that's the advantage. If it doesn't bounce higher than the net, you're striking the ball from low to high. So you'll increases your chance of getting a better ball to volley when you close on that net. But not everyone hits it as well as, say, a Morgan does, and some of the other better spin volleyers. So I don't think there's much of an advantage. And it seems to me sometimes, and maybe this is just my skewed view of a more traditional overhand serve, I feel like in tight matches, tight times, they tend to fault a little bit more with that serve.
Yeah. Then again, you know, Durant Mitchell pretty much using the serve under him, but maybe they could serve any way they want and still win the Nationals, right? All right, so here we are about ready to get underway. Looks like Vanessa Petrini is going to start serving here. So she's in the all black, her partner, Annika Cooper, at the net. And here we are underway. They're starting right away with an I formation. And there you see an immediate blitz move. And she, oh boy, she actually hits Cooper right in the back of the head off the screen drive. In fairness, actually, Cooper does need to duck down and kind of give her the space to hit that drive. She was still standing a little tall there. But right off the bat, you can see they're going to try and do some, it looks like they're going to try and do some moves. She's telling her where to serve, where she wants it to go. She can cut it off. Now Petrini will make her way into the net.
You're absolutely right here, Bradley. This is going to be a if not blitzing on every point, they are going to pressure the blitz. They're going to creep into the court. They're going to give the...
Yeah, there's the pressure, and a good job there. Getting in there, it is love 30. It's a hard overhead. Oh, misses the screen drive. It's a good look. Can't fault for taking it. It's clearly out past the baseline, moving into the court, higher than the net. Yeah, Kira loves to volley. She loves to mix it up.
She's been putting pressure on every return of serve so far, so she's going to be there. She's setting the stage to keep the pressure on.
See, there's a huge forehand from Kiro. She has that all day. You put the serve in. Once she gets a rhythm on that, it is actually not a bad play to stay back some of the time and just let it come off the screen, because she thumps it pretty good. Here's where the match is going to get interesting. You know, if they're going to spend that much time in the backcourt, or are they going to be able to attack them? Here you see a perfect blitz, and what a volley from Medeiros.
Great volley.
And she got a little screen there, Petrini, with the move by Cooper, but I think Cooper was stunned by how good that volley was. It's a nice play.
Very aggressive first game, all around.
I think we're going to expect to see that. I think the service games are going to be actively challenged with heavy returns. The returner will have the advantage frequently. But here you see a completely different style of serving here from Macy Medeiros. She's going to push it low, watch her contact point, and she's going to follow it in quickly. She'll be in a little closer, and the returner can't hit this ball as down. So she's right there. It's not going to be at her feet, and she easily makes it. They take the net. All right.
So even though it is an overhand serve, it very much reacts and like a roller.
Yeah. Now there's a play from Cooper, you know, where she moves in. I don't know if she's expecting a drive from Petrini, but she's at the service line with the overhead coming right at her feet. And as great as her hands are, that's not going to be a winning strategy, I think, on the long run. Got to make sure Petrini's going to drive that ball before she makes these moves. That's a great shot at the crease. Nice ball there. And see, that's the pressure of the blitz right there that forces that miss.
Cooper had a very small area to put that volley, and you can tell she felt she had to be perfect and went a little bit longer.
She might have wanted to go with a dink there, I think, Anthony. Instead of even trying to volley it past her, around her, just dink it short and soft and make her hit the ball up. It's not easy to do either. A lot of pressure. Such aggressive positioning there from Cooper.
Right, all game so far, she's creeping in. She's a good 2 feet inside the baseline. She's looking for drives.
Yeah, I think she's actually looking for blitzes.
Yes,
Not even so much the drive, just any opportunity to mix up the hand-to-hand.
You're right. She's looking to blitz when she can and booming for the drive if it presents itself.
Ah, that's a good rip.
Good pressure.
And game right back. And you see 2 quick games. A lot on the serve and return pressure, as we talked about. So 2 breaks right to start. And Karen Medeiros had a great win in Boston. You know, in their last tournament, they came back, you know, almost from death's door like 4 or 5 times against the 2 seeds of Anika and Nicolescu, and they just fought hard to the end. And you saw as the match went on, they were able to start. They were using the blitz play in the beginning, and they were getting beat. Like they were maybe like 1 out of 8 every time they tried to blitz. And then slowly but surely, Medeiros found the right type of return to allow the blitz to work. She took pace off it actually and started dipping it at the service line rather than trying to hit it harder. And then they started getting points, and then they found their way into the match, and they turned around, won it in 3 sets.
She is a very smart player out there. She's always thinking of that next bump in the strategy to make sure she's not stagnating in the strategy. I think that's one of the challenges a lot of teams have, especially young teams playing together, is when is the right time to change the strategy. and Macy Medeiros is very, very keen on that.
Nice play. There's good pace on Petrini there. And I think that's where they're going to do most of their work, if they can find the Kiro screens. And they've hit at the crease a whole bunch of times on Medeiros, which is, I think, a great play. Big forehand. Yeah, and she tried to one-time it right back. Not so simple.
Now that's a decision Cooper will have to make. Is she going to follow it up to the net? Because that ball's coming back so fast, you really have to serve, step in, and then step back again. Or fully commit to coming in. That half spot there is really tough. And that's what she did this time. She stepped all the way back.
That is a good ball early. She gets the timing right on that one. Nice transition play. That's a great lob. Here's a good setup ball. Beautifully done. That's just too good. Well, when she volleyed that ball cross court, the problem with that is she can keep the volley. Usually, if you're not hitting an offensive volley, it's better to keep the volley straight and in front of you. That way you can keep the play there. Once it goes cross court, now it opens up a lane, and you can see Medeiros just shoves it right into that lane and makes Cooper stretch for the volleys. Great play. That's a real key, like the element. And sometimes when you're these talented players, you start thinking you can do more than you need to. I'm not sure if she wanted to hit it there or just lost control of it, but sometimes just playing the smart play and the percentage play is the right way out. So good couple of fast action games there. Kiro Medeiros up 2-1. You see Lynn Kiro up here. See if we can get a hold of serve. We had 3 breaks. We talked about the fact that it's going to be a lot of service pressure, like the return pressure is going to be a big part of this match. I also think the screenplay between Kiro and Medeiros will be a big part of this match too. Oh, that's a big ball.
That's a perfect setup. Put it back into the court.
Right.
Drives right back at that.
And we talked about how finding the safe spots in the court. There she did go for the push overhead, and we said if it's not going to land somewhere good, she's going to get thumped. She might have wanted to stay back there, actually. Just said, you know what? That's not very good overhead. I'm not getting back in. She's hitting it down. I'll stay back. And I personally think the bailout points might be to hit it a little firmer, not to actually go softer in some of these cases.
Yes.
And make her hit screen drives. It's not that she can't. I just think it might be the lesser of 2 evils.
Right, but we know if the ball comes off the screen, it gives you a little bit more time to close on the net, get ready, and then make a decision if you're going to just let the ball go by and transition. But when that ball's coming off the deck with all of these pure drives that all of these players have, you're really susceptible to missing that volley because you're a little bit off the net and it's coming back so quickly.
Although there, Petrini totally proved me wrong by thumping a screen drive, which forces the error, which is great. Love to see it. Cooper being a trailer now. It's the blitz, but Petrini do the work. A lot of transition. Just back. That was a good read. That ball was dipping quickly.
In that point, Brad, Cooper had 8 balls and she drove 6 of them.
Yep.
So we know that she's absolutely looking for offense. She's going to keep a lot of pressure from what I've seen so far. A lot of pressure on these volleys from Medeiros and Kiro.
Yeah, I agree with you. The pressure works both ways, though. It's not easy to time that many balls.
Yes.
Because you start missing a couple, that's when you're in trouble. That's a great shot there. And that's that fine line between wanting to create something by playing the drop, but it's not a good drop. So she comes in and she gets an offensive look at it.
A chance for our first hold here.
And there it is. Yeah, great job. Now, Kiro's serve is more challenging. She's not laying in the box. She hits it hard.
And she's moving it around, and it's a good pace.
Yeah, it was a good game. They were up love 30, but then 4 quick points there for Kira Medeiros. Great rip from Medeiros. Ooh. Sarah, love 30. You know, there's going to be a moment. I always say 5 games is sort of my point where I decide we're clearly not at the beginning of the match. The match has started. You have to make your determinations on how you want to play this. Like, right now, it's fast and fast, right? Both teams playing very fast. You know, if I'm Cooper and Petrini and I'm down 4-1, do I want to say, okay, maybe this fast isn't the kind of fast we want? You know, we don't mind playing fast, but maybe in this case it's not the best play. Do we slow it down a little bit more?
Yeah, I remember when I was playing, we used to play, Steve Haller and I played together, and we would always say when you're playing fast and winning, it's great. When you're playing fast and losing, and you're absolutely right. So they're playing fast, and it's been, you know, kind of give and take, but now you're right. If they get down 4-1, even earlier, it actually crossed my mind 2 points ago that maybe they should slow down just a little bit and be a little bit more precise, a little bit more strategic with their shots. Because they can get away from you very quickly when you're moving this fast.
Yeah, and as athletic as Cooper and Petrini are, you know, Kira Medeiros, very athletic. I'm not sure there's a more, just in terms of just athleticism, I mean, it's right up there, you know, in terms of just pure athleticism. The faster it moves, I'm sure it doesn't benefit them a little bit.
We saw a little flinch from Medeiros there that threw off Flynn for that volley, and now we're at 30 all.
Has to be a big hold here.
Pressure from Cooper there. I'm not sure I would have been that aggressive. But
well, I understand what you're saying. I think what you're driving at is she's driving so many of the balls that they're expecting the drives. There, you could see Medeiros move over and cut that thing off right as Cooper was in mid-swing. So she knows it's coming, right? And you have to have a little deception, right? And have them think that you're going to be off the net. You really want to take the drive. If Medeiros is closing in and taking a volley above the net, clearly the advantage is hers, not Cooper's, right?
And there we go, 4-1 Kira Medeiros. Paddle Pro. For over 20 years, Paddle Pro has been recognized as an industry leader in platform tennis. The knowledge, expert advice, fast inventory, and ultimate customer service will help any player find the perfect equipment to take your game to the next level. Paddle Pro is the only website to carry all platform tennis brands. For more information, go to paddlepro.com. Okay, so here we are, Brad, at the 5-game turning point. Let's see if the strategy changes a little bit in the backcourt for Cooper and Petrini. Let's see if they slow it down a little bit. Cooper doesn't. She's still looking for offense. We'll see what happens.
There's a good look. What a good volley from Kiro. Wow.
That backhand was coming down hard.
Oof, she is putting serious pace on that ball, and she gets Petrini on the hard roller. I think that will be available to them if they go hard and deep at Petrini. Her tracking down those balls could be a source of points for Kira Medeiros, and that's the hardest roller I think I've seen her hit. They're really dialing it up a whole nother notch. Wow, amazing hands there from Cooper. She really does have incredible timing. She's one timing balls that most players will let go to the screen 9 times out of 10. rollers.
I think they're here. I think they're listening to you, Brad. Lynn Kiro is hitting some really stiff shots overheads into the Petrini side, and she's going to let that play out. She's going to see if she can still steal some points that way.
Oh, no, I mean, that was a decent look. They just got confused as to who positioning at the net and who's taking that volley. They lost that point. They had an offensive look. Now it's 15-40. The day is still getting going here, and you got a full day of incredible paddle ahead to be live streamed. But they do a great job here at the Short Hills. You know, they got a couple outdoor fire pits, a couple outdoor couches. You know, the director of racket sports here, you know, Chris Humphreys is seated fourth. You know, great New Jersey contingency. So it's a great spot. And on top of that, just an amazingly beautiful day. 45 degrees, sunny.
Perfect paddle weather. Short Hills always has a great staff, and the teams here do a fantastic job. It's always been one of my favorite tournaments to play and to watch. It's great to stand outside and make your way in between the courts and around the fire pits.
Blitz. Oh, and she changes her overhead and forces the error. So
Felt it.
Good break of serve there from Cooper Petrini. 4-2 now. Good spot there. See, she was trying to hit a drop volley there, but nice drive there from Cooper, forces the error.
Two back-to-back big forehands.
Yeah, we have other great quarterfinal matches going on. A rematch from Boston on Hanish and Zabori against Cruz and Rodesno. Our other live stream court, Monaco and Gebbia, Jersey hometown favorites. They live right around here. You ever practice with those guys, Anthony?
I have, not recently, but I've played a lot with Kerry. Trying to figure out what Cooper and Petrini, if they actually have a strategy. Again, they're showing a lot of offensive posturing. You know, they're blitzing and leaning forward, and I can't quite tell if it's a strategy they've talked about or they're just kind of riding what's happening on the court.
Yeah, I'd kind of go with what you're saying, they're riding what's happening in the court. It's not like they're picking a spot to play the ball. We're playing it over here and we're going to be in this position and these are the overheads we're looking for. It's reactive to the speed and what's going on in the game. Like if the drive comes, they hit it, you know. But it's not like they're picking on one player and it's really completely, that's what I see as well. And there's a little more it's less actually, there's tons of hitting, almost so much that it's been hard to even get the blitzes in. There's a lot of transition and back and forth. I expected to see more pointed blitzes and things like that. This is more just a lot of transition attack.
Right. Just riding what's happening on the court and taking advantage of something presents.
But it's not like you say, okay, they're going after Kiro's, deuce side forehand screen, or they're going after one thing or the next. You know, it's really just situational play and looking to make the play when it comes. And Cooper really is looking to drive. And you said drive before. I thought she was looking to blitz, but she's driven probably in terms of a drive rate, 70% of the balls. Maybe one lob for every 8 drives or something like that. Maybe more, higher probably, 70%. Yeah. She was going for another one there. She didn't read it right off the crease. That was a tough one. You know, and most of the time, if you're doing coaching, you rarely say, you know, let's say 3 drives in a row. It's usually 1, 2 if you got a second one you're looking for, and after that you usually lob it again, unless you really do have complete advantage. You know, because you want to, if after you drive, the players get closer. Once they get closer, you want to push them back off the net again. Sort of a paddle 1-1 thing. Look at that transition drive, though. It's so good. It is so fun to watch, though, I have to say. Right at the crease, awesome overhead. And a lot of players think that's lucky. It's not. You know, top players go at the crease all the time, and you should. That's, you know, even if you're a club player at home, hit a good firm side back, move your player out. Take a ball right at the crease if they don't get back in there in position, and go long and deep right at it.
All 4 of these players are actively looking for that corner with those rollers. And it's not luck.
That's a great move. Oh, see, like, that is just a hard drive. Even with her timing, that is just a tough drive. But she's basically sink or swim with that, you know, and that mindset.
It's a pure timing drive, and at 40-30.
But it's lower than the net, you know, tricky spot, big point, right. Kind of in a strange way, I do agree with you if you're bringing up the point that score should actually matter in the choices you make. I think it does. Absolutely. So not all points are weighted the same. You know, technically they are, but, you know, when you're at a game point down, you cannot afford to, you know, glitch it up, and, you know, 2 quick errors right there, and now it's game point for 5-2 for Kira Medeiros.
I always felt there was 2 sides of that argument. The players that don't know what the score is are in that zone, and they just play every single point. You never know if they're up or down, and there's a lot of that validity to that style. But at the same time, in a match like this, 4-2, 40-30, you want to be a little bit more strategic as well. So,
yeah, that's a great point, Anthony, because, you know, there is that something to be said, like, what's the score? Oh, I had no idea. I was just hitting my shot, right? You know, there is something to be said for that. I think there's a good argument to be made in both cases.
I was always
just a little long. A great look. It's a very drivable ball. She has it. I sometimes think it'd be useful if the partner says they're both back, you know, and then she just has to hit like a half-pace roller. Sometimes when you're hitting the screen drive, you have no idea. You're just hitting it.
You're absolutely right, and it's just a quick comment from your partner, but you'd be amazed how many times that would help, right? Because you'll just take a little pace off it, put it back in the court instead of trying to do too much. That happens often.
Oh, too bad there. But here I see a complete strategy. It's more, though, Petrini is in her space if they're giving her the ball, but she's not moving or creating different looks. It's more like she's just up there to catch a volley if she can. Otherwise, it's pretty much just going to be a screen drive here. Yep, there it is right there. There, and now we'll see if Cooper makes her way in. Yep, there she goes.
She's not in a rush to get to the net there.
Well, she loves the transition drive, so she hang back. That is just a great half volley there from Kiro.
She ended up in a bad position for that volley, but volleyed it very, very well.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. She put that ball from her shoelaces and kept it quarter-inch over the net and forced an error out of Petrini. That's a tough play. All right, so 5-2 now for Kiro Medeiros. And it's fast and entertaining. I'm not sure they shouldn't back off and say, okay, what, to your point before, Anthony, of saying like, all right, this is a great match, a lot of fun points, but we're on the losing end of a little bit of this. Maybe we got to find a specific type of strategy, look for a specific type of ball. It's kind of at that moment.
Yeah, I don't think they've, maybe that's what they're talking about right now.
They're talking about it now.
I don't think they've actually thought about that yet, and maybe they should have at 4-1, but now it's 5-2, and they're in this match. They're in every point.
For sure.
And it's just a matter of, like all these matches, 1 or 2 points, 1 or 2 decisions, and
I think a lot of it's also just maximizing, you know, your place to get the points and your place to, you know, where you're going to lose the less and maximize your chance to get the most, right? And that's a good play right there. That roller is looking really strong. Oh, that's just good, fast play. She's got to let that one go for Petrini if she, I don't know if Petrini had it though.
No, I don't know if she was there, but just like you said earlier, they're looking for the corners. They're going right for those corners purposefully. seen, I don't know, maybe 10, if not Knicks, very close to the Knicks, that have changed the trajectory of the ball in their favor. So it's Mark Parsons like.
Yeah, it got to the point where Parsons was hitting so many creases, people just realized you just block it no matter what. On principle, he's hitting it, you try to block it 90% of the time unless you're sure it's not hitting. And that's actually part of being a top player. You have to recognize when the ball's going to the crease. It's the first thing that I look for. If it's not at the crease, and if I'm not 100% sure if it's a side back or a backside, there's a good chance it might be headed there, right? And I have to either block it or call for some help, play it up the line.
Right. You have to make the quickest decision, the right decision, and on the fastest decision, right? So when that ball's coming and it might hit the corner, you have to move quickly. As soon as you know it's not going to hit the thing, then you can slow down your approach because now you have time to take off the screens.
Oh,
that first decision's important.
Handcuff volley there. Wow, look at that. So low. Kind of the mix of, we got a couple all black outfits, a couple of light blues. It's nice. All black gives me the old like Mod Squad thought process. Oh, that's good pace. And there you have it. First set to Kiro Medeiros. And we'll be back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by My Paddle.
High performance never tasted this good. Chocolate, berries, cinnamon, agave. Fuel your body with the shot and the bar. Now available in a deliciously energizing power pack. See how much farther you can go with Remedy Plus.
What is a cutter?
Ball with a lot of spin.
A cutter is a fun shot.
A cutter is an offensive overhead commonly used close to the net.
All right, welcome back to the APTA Tour presented by Remedy Plus. We are in women's quarterfinal action where our number 4 seeds, Lynn Kiro and Macy Medeiros, just won 6-2 in a fast and entertaining set. A lot of back and forth, tons of transition play, creases and nicks, but not sure that Petrini and Cooper, they probably want to look for a different strategy, a different thought process, how they want to approach this match going forward.
Yes, I mean, in between the set, Brad and I were just noticing is Cooper going to, doesn't look like at this point she wants to change the strategy. She's having a lot of fun out there. There's a lot of offense. It's right in her wheelhouse, but it's not working yet, so.
Ooh, got 2 points there. I think Medeiros was trying to tag Cooper when she was up there a little harder. She wasn't trying to go high. It ended up being high because she was late. But definitely going for the body there, closing in hard. Good transition drive. I mean, this is definitely the strategy here for Cooper and Petrini. And both sides, they're serving and staying back. One player at the net, the other player looking to hit screen drives that come in. But it's never like the ball goes back and they're looking to hit a lob, right, and then slow it and transition back. It's always the faster option, right? Right, it's always the faster option. Aye. 30-40. It's too bad there, 30-40. Wow. And that's the points. They've been going like so fast. They won 2 really fast, a couple errors from Medeiros and Kiro, and then 4 in 20 seconds, right? Yeah. That's what I mean. I think even just playing a point that lasted a minute might benefit them. Absolutely. Maybe they don't want to, but it might just, even if they lose it, it actually might benefit them, right? It gives the opportunity to the other team to make a couple more errors quickly, let them know you're going to play a little bit longer, right? You know, the biggest difference, though, too, that I saw in that first set, too, other than just the fast play sort of benefiting Kiro Medeiros more so, was the Lynn Kiro serve, the challenging serve that she played. The 2 games that Cooper and Petrini did get were off of just breaking Macy Medeiros, right? But Kiro puts in that hard serve, so they didn't get as many huge strikes at the first serve, and she was able to hold both times, and that was really, you know, a huge thing. She was the only person to actually hold in the first set. She held twice. That's a great roller. I haven't seen her bring that out this much. She is really looking for that. That's a great lob. This is what we want here. Perfect. See, now, to me, that drive should be hit about half that pace, but it's good play. Great job. I think that's the first point, outside of maybe 1 or 2 in the beginning of the first game, that I've seen set up with a lob, Anthony. You know what I mean? That's sort of the quintessential way you think about it after the return of serve. Right. Wow. It's a beautifully spotted drive, dipper right at the service line.
Great swing by Petrini there.
Yeah, but again, good deep lob, pushes her off the net, they get the drive. That's it. Set up the points that way. Oh, that's a beautifully spotted drive. I tell you, the shot making though is incredible. They're spotting drives and crushing the ball from all areas of the courts.
Yeah, I'm just feeling myself that these points, they're not that they're untraditional. They're actually lobbing well and driving well, but it's just happening in such a compact space, right? It's a good lob, a good drive, point over. Good lob, good drive, point over. It's not, they're not resetting as often, and that's what's making this match so quick.
But that's been the biggest difference right now. Is Kiro's been able to hold right now, and that's what's keeping him a little alive here. So.
You know, Brad, they always say the first game or two in the second set after you lose are super important here, and I think if we don't see a strong game here. Wow.
Yeah, it sort of sets the tone, and you know, the other team, it's so comfortable when you start rolling and you start feeling your shots, and then you don't have any scoreboard pressure, right? You just hit away. It's the most comfortable feeling as a front-running team. You could tell a team like Kiro and Medeiros are a front-running type of team. They love to come at you and go, you know.
Yes, I mean, I commentated Kiro Medeiros' match a few weeks ago, and this is as comfortable as I've ever seen Kiro. You said, you know, they're up in the game. She's swinging completely freely. She's making all her shots easy and hard, and she is absolutely. She's got no negative thoughts in her brain at all. So
right.
It's so easy to play this way, and if the strategy doesn't change.
We've also seen her play how many screens on the day? Now, part of that's a part of the strategy. They're not able to really take the net. They're serving, staying back, looking for a transition drive. But, you know, if there's a place you're going to try and find it, you're going to have to find the net and make it work. I'd like to see her have to play 10 screens in a point if I'm Cooper and Petrini, but we're not getting there in the points, right? You know, we're not getting there in the points, and then when we get there, we don't have that sort of specific strategy. Go, let's see this happen, or let's see that happen. And so right after these, you know, it's incredibly athletic quarterfinal here, and all the women's finals, very athletic. We're back with men's quarterfinal action after this, and then women's semifinal. So you can buckle in, make some popcorn, nachos. Anthony, what's your snack of choice?
I'm a chips guy.
You're a chips guy.
Just plain. If I'm having a snack, it's plain potato chips.
There you go.
But it is nacho season with the Super Bowl
Right around the corner, yep. Gonna make some black bean dip. we're seeing nice, good reset overhead, and then she goes to the offensive shot. Big roller. Wow, just right into the corner, perfect spot.
She's feeling very comfortable over there, and the more comfortable she's feeling, the more she's getting into that corner. It's amazing how easy it is to hit a corner when you're not worried about anything else.
Oh, good stick there from Petrini.
There's a little off guard on that one because she was there.
Yep, she was right there. It's also really warm out there. It's not. There are going to be some balls that popped. I mean, I'm like you. I think I was a little surprised to see her miss it, but it's a lot of pace coming from Petrini too. That's a lot of transition play. You can see the players trailing back, expecting to drive, and it's so warm out there. These hard drives, they might want to start going a notch slower on the transition drive. It's just inviting another drive right back in there. Oh, too bad from Petrini. Could have closed in, had a little look there. The ball got underneath the net, and she just kind of
dipped
popped
under
it.
the net. If she closed a little bit sooner on that, she would have had it at Cooper's feet. Didn't quite react fast enough. Service deep.
Long. Wow. All right, great start here. 3-love. Kira Medeiros, the train is kind of, you know, they're going to have to slow this train down is really what I'm thinking, but it's tough because they're really playing free now, Medeiros and Kiro, and an uphill battle now. There's no way they're going to win this as an uphill battle fast unless they're just going to all of a sudden, like Medeiros and Kiro, just start missing balls right and left, right? They got to figure out right, you know, we're basically at the end of it here, you know, if they don't get this game, you can probably mail it in, you know, maybe not though. I mean, look, we've all seen anything happen a million times, right? But it's just one of these spots like where they really need this, and they have not been able to break Kiro yet.
No, I think your earlier comment still holds true. I think they need to play one long point, one super long point, and just resist all urges to overplay and drive. Just to
almost don't drive.
Don't drive.
Just for a minute. Just for 1 minute.
Just change the tone a little bit.
Exactly.
You change that tone just for a second, and they start thinking, you know, who knows? Kira Medeiros might start thinking, oh, it's changing. Maybe I'll change as well, right? So anything that can give you that slight advantage or that slight change of thought process. You know, paddle is such a momentum-based game. Anything that throws you off your norm can only work in your favor.
And that's the operative word here is they just need to change what is going on. Right now it's 6-2-3 love, right? Even if they lose the point, just the change itself is a good thing, right? Yeah. She missed that. Yep, ball was long. So Kiro's making some great balls on the low volleys, really good low volleys. And there's a play where that's designed. They know she might have, but they want her to have to run. They want Petrini to chase. And she's a great hitter of the ball, but chasing changes how well you hit balls. And against some players, and actually anyone who's had to crack the top, and you can see it in there, the top teams are using the roller more and more. Gabby Nikolewski made a whole career out of it, winning, multiple nationals. And before Hanish and Zabori, who are just winning all the Grand Prix right now, before they had the ability to do that, they had to learn how to track down those hard overheads because people use them.
And Kiros has not given up her serve all day, and that was going to be a tough game for Cooper Petrini to win. She's been playing so strong.
Now they're doing two back. I actually love this just for the fact that it is a change, right? And it seems like it's a different thing. That's great. I'm all in.
I'm all in too.
That's such a good lob.
Good setup. She's in the court.
Oh, wow.
Spotted that volley perfectly.
Good dig from Petrini. That's a great lob.
On the line.
Great lob from Petrini.
Cooper tracked that off the back screen perfectly, kept it low. 30-15. They're staying back again. I like this strategy. Cooper gets a good swing at it from back there.
There we go. But I like that they isolated a player. The ball wasn't flying around the court. You know, there wasn't a ton of transition in that point. It's a little more of a contained environment. This is what I think they need, something like that.
They controlled that point.
Correct.
And they controlled the pace of that point much better than they have all day.
Yeah, the points when the ball's going left, right, side, transition, back, forth, you know, they'll win a couple, and they have. They're great, you know, players, so they're going to win, but they need to control the environment that they're playing in. You know, that's a great rip. Nice shot. And there they go, 4-1.
That's a big game. On the board, they changed the pace up a little bit in that game, and let's see if they can work off that momentum.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a change. There's no question.
Fusion, a proud partner to the APTA. Fusion curates what's next in branded gear and apparel for your company, your team, or your event. With a team of dedicated industry experts, Fusion curates high-end product selection for customization with your club logo, team name, or corporate identity. We create a stress-free shopping experience with custom online stores and quick custom ordering to get the gear you need now without any hassle. Visit gearbyfusion.com and let Fusion provide you with the gear to fuel your brand.
All right, so 4-1 up. Cooper Petrini, you know, was a good run of games there for Kiro Medeiros. And they did make a couple of changes. They stayed two back, and they won the first game.
Right.
I don't think it's, you know,
tiny change, but it worked. They're on the board.
But we saw in that moment that they were able to control at least some of the tempo of what was going on, not just react to it, or even feed into it, to be honest. That's a great move there. That one's going to be tough. Oh. And that's like just great athleticism. That's kind of game-changing athleticism. Cooper, fantastic play, but then she follows up that great volley with an overhead right to the crease. Stunner. Oh.
I'd like to see a little, just really selective shots this game from Cooper and Petrini. Very selective. Not sure we're going to get it out of them, but get to that 90%, 95% success rate shot.
Yeah,
really
shot
back to
you know you're
basics.
going to make, right? Yeah, versus thinking you're going to make, right?
Just need to extend the points a little bit longer.
They are. They're using more lobs here.
Yep.
There's a 90% drive.
Yeah,
She knew she was going to make. She didn't just pull the trigger. There you go.
Yeah,
now we got the ball we want. Great transition back from Kira, though. She sees that they've lost the ability to volley effectively, so she just goes back, makes it an easy transition. And now let's see if they can control the tempo. And they've been working Medeiros here now recently, trying to slow it up. Great job. Dipper at the feet.
So I would be, and that's what you said earlier, Brad, that they're not, I think most of those overheads should have gone over to Kiro's side. Medeiros she's lobbing well, and then she's looking for that drive. I wouldn't want that pressure, so I would be over to Kiro's side a little bit more.
Yeah, it's, at least it looks like something to me right now. So even if it's not the best one, and gosh, when they make her chase, their success rate is high. So it's a good play for them. And it starts speeding it up in that transition way where it just works out in their favor.
Here we are at 5-1.
Now, some of the things that you'll see differently here, like if you watch other matches, say Hana Sabori a little bit, you'll see like if you count the overheads that are going at the service line or in front, you're going to see like a high percentage, like down, up, down, up. They're never letting the ball drop. Oh, that's just great athleticism from Kiro. Faster the point goes, the more she likes it. They got to start working on an overhead where the ball drops more, and then they can hit it through the court long and deep. Everything's just sort of a down-up repetitive. If they get the crease, that's great. But you're not going to force errors unless, you're doing something a little different with certain spots of the ball and playing a different situational overheads. Ooh. That's a good overhead to move her out. If she can get the crease. Just back. Spread idea a lot down the line there. She got Petrini back in the middle. Down the line was the right play. Just pushed it a little long. A little less court that way too. It probably would have been in if it were a cross court lob.
Medeiros has only needed one lob each point, 2 lobs each point. She's lobbing so well. Like every lob she's hitting is bringing them back and going down the line. So again, another reason that they should be probably working Kiro on the other side of the court. I'm not sure why they're not, but Macy's completely directing these points. Completely directing.
Oh wow. On the umpire from the other court, Nikolescu were up set 6-3 and 3-1 in the second set against Morgan Sikora, who had a great tournament in Boston, made it to the finals there. Some great paddle. And traveling the country, camps all over the place. So, and they're incredibly positive all the time. So fun to talk to him. Oh, great.
Drive off the hard overhead.
Oh. So long. All right.
Brings us to match point.
Couple match points here for Kiro Medeiros.
Game, set, match.
Yeah, I mean, Kiro Medeiros just a little too much out there.
Much.
And I think Cooper Petrini just need to kind of reassess how they're going to win their points against a team like that. You don't want to match up faster. Kiro Medeiros, very athletic team. And while a lot of those points were fun, you know, also difference maker, Kiro did not lose her serve in there. That strong, hard serve made a difference in the match for sure for them. And they're going to go on to face the winner of either Cruz Redesno against or Hana Shibori. So either one of those would be, either one of those teams got national champions all across it. And good looking battle coming up, and we'll be back in a few moments at 3 o'clock for the men's quarterfinal round action. So everybody stay tuned then. Anthony, any final thoughts?
The only thing I could say is maybe the first two games that Cooper and Petrini played didn't do them any justice because they were winning points in this fast-paced type of match, and they never decided to switch that off a little bit, and Kiro Medeiros just played such a better, more, that aggressive game suits their play a little bit too much.
Yeah, so when they actually were winning some points, they had to reassess at a certain point in time and maybe say, hey, let's back off this. All right, well, anyway, more great action to come. We'll be back at 3 p.m. with men's quarterfinal action right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by My Paddle.